it's Tammy from Tammy Colors Too, and today I am here for another Watercolor Summer video. I apologize I'm late this week. It's been a struggle, per usual, but I am doing it. And we have added another person. Christopher's Corner is also helping co-host Watercolor Summer. So check out his channel if you have not. So Watercolor Summer runs from June to September, or June through September, June to September, through September. I can't remember. It runs a long time, so there's plenty of time to do stuff. And post your pictures under hashtag Watercolor Summer 2024. So right now, Michelle and I are alternating weeks. Like, I'll have a Watercolor Summer video, and then she'll do one next week. When she gets back from vacation, I should talk about if we want to later in the summer post, maybe she and I both post in the same week. I don't know. I'm trying to think of ideas to keep things moving, and we're all really busy. So today, this is what I have decided to work on. I wrote it down. I was going to put a sticky note. Yes. I always translate them and put sticky notes. So this is Gifts from Animals Birth Month Flower by Yumi Shimokawa. Is what the title of the book is. I'll just keep a sticky note in there. So back here in the back, and if I don't have a flip through of this on my channel, then I know there are many on the internet. So you should be able to find one, or I can do one. So back here, she does tell you in Japanese what the flowers are. I was going through and translating. I was thinking it would be Japanese flowers, which I went through and looked up. However, I think there are many variations to what the flowers can be. Excuse me. So, it's really cool because I have never heard of, I mean, I know freesia and I know violets, but I didn't know what cymbidium is, or fukujuso, which is a beautiful little flower. So that's what I want to do, because I want to test this out. I haven't worked in this book, so we're going to do a little nice, I might do both sides. I'm going to start with this side this week. This paper is gorgeous. I mean, gorgeous in this book. So I think it'll take watercolor well. I'm sure lots of other people have already worked in this book and know what it takes well. I did not have time to research that. Now, oh, I was going to show you. So I have, of course, because I have to, on my tablet here, I have, oh, let's see. Okay, I have some reference photos. So this is what a fukujutsu is. It's a beautiful little yellow flower that grows very close to the earth. So I have a reference photo for that, and then I have some pictures of a little mouse, so I know what they look like. I like this one, so this is probably what I'm going to go with. And I'm going to do it in watercolor pencil. Now, there was much debate on what I wanted to use, because I only have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of watercolor pencils. And how I decide what I want to use, unless for some reason I want to use something specific, is I look at the colors. What has the look that I want, you know? So I'm going to go with my Arteza watercolor pencils, because I haven't used them for a while. And I feel like I want to do that. I am very close to getting me a set of Supercolor, Caran d'Ache Supercolor watercolor pencils, because I really, really want those. I don't know if after that there will be any others, really. I keep looking, but oh, we'll see. But anyway, we're gonna do these today. Let me pick out my colors and I'll be right back. Okay, now I have chosen some colors. I have a couple of greens. I have basil green and spring green for the stems of the leaves. For the flower, I'm going to use absinthe green for the center, Tuscan sun and lemon yellow for the petals. And then for the mouse, I've got a pink macaron for all the little pinky areas. I've got an elephant gray, a mushroom gray, and then I'm using camel brown. So, and then I'll probably add some pencil after, like later. It'll have to dry, so luckily it doesn't take that long. I have my paper towel here. I have a water brush, which should work fine. I don't think this will take us very long to do. And then if I like it, I will continue the same over with the other picture. So let me just get myself situated, put on my pencils. Let me get a tray for my pencils. I find that it's easier if I put my pencils on a tray. That way they don't roll around. They're all in one place. Excuse me. They have a place. All right. So let me just look at my reference picture again for my flowers. All right. I don't think we see any of the undersides. If you notice, there's like this really cool color on the undersides of the leaves, but I'm not sure you can really see any of the leaves or petals. They're petals, not leaves. Ay, ay, ay. All right, here we go. I just decided I was vacillating on what to do with my pencil. Oh, where do I want to start? I want to start way up here because I always start too close to myself and then I am working on wet stuff. I chose these pencils because I wanted something bright, and I feel, no, sorry. I feel that they're bright enough for what I want today. So I haven't done a video in forever. I mean, I've been doing like collection videos, but I haven't done an actual color and chat. Lord, I haven't colored in, well, I did like a really simple picture, just spent 5 minutes doing one from my simple batch. Actually I did 2 because they only take like 5 minutes piece. And that is all the coloring I have done in the month of June. So yeah, been busy. I mean, I can manage to get flip throughs and stuff done, but between the concerts and people needing help and working conventions, because it's convention season, although we've only done one, but it's a lot. So I based it with the lemon yellow, and I don't normally, I sharpened these right before I started I don't normally do my watercolor on the paper, but I'm trying to get better at that, you know. I want this underside to be darker. And then we'll see how this comes out. I know I'll want kind of the bottoms to be just a little bit darker, but I didn't want I didn't want them to be really dark. So just kind of doing a little bit here. I was debating on whether to do a color and chat. I did. I don't know if I want to catch up here because I feel like, oh, this is a certain type of video. It's not really color and chat. You're not here to listen to me talk about my life. But I could. So let's see, wait a minute. So I want to put a darker color back here. I think I'm going to put just a hair more yellow on there. Because I want them to be bright. I have a bad habit of being too light with my watercolors, my watercolor pencils, because, I don't know, because I have a heavy hand, so I'm always... I have it too dark, or, yeah, I mean, I get a lot of, I think with my markers and stuff, everything will be too dark, and then when I'm doing pencils, I always do it too light, and I don't add enough color, especially like with ink tints, because I'm so, even though I've used the ink tints probably more than I have watercolor pencils, I'm terrified of putting too much color, because you can always add more color, but it's difficult to take color away. So I'm going to go down because I don't want the dark color. I could have done, you know, like the light color and wet it and then just done the light color. But I just wanted to kind of mesh them all together. So I thought I would do them all at once. I'm excited. I mean, I'm using this summer, this watercolor summer, to start working in my Japanese books. Because, you know, I told Michelle it was going to happen. I'm like, I'm going to do it. We're going to work in the Japanese books because I don't want to be afraid of them. I mean, we spend a lot of money on them. That's why. And I have a calyx cube dedicated to all my Japanese books. Japanese and Korean. And so, you know, I really want there's what is she called? I can't remember her name. The one that has the cat that does like not Forest Girl, but maybe she does. I'm always confused about what they do. But she does the one with the cat, which is Seasons. And then there's another one called Nostalgia. And I really want that, but every time I go to order it, it's like, oh gosh. I mean, $25 or $30, you know, by the time you get through shipping, just to get the one book. And I keep watching to see if it'll pop up on eBay, but really it's not, because it would have to be somebody in the United States selling it. But there was that one Etsy shop that was starting to offer books, and they're in California, and so I'll have to check and see. They had the Desert Fox books, but I don't think they had the other book that I was looking for. I've only seen it on Pomodoro 64 or whatever. Pomodoro. I'm trying to get the leaf. So, I mean, there's a couple different ways you can do watercolor. You can take it off the pencil, you can put it on the paper. Like sometimes if I want just a little area, then I'll take it off the pencil and just dab it on, because that's easier. Or if I want a little extra, extra, then I'll do it that way. So the center of these flowers is like this greenish yellow color. I might go back over that and darken it up, but that is a really pretty color. Happy with that. So I could do a different technique. What did I do with my, here it is. I always have a bunch of these. They're the Dollar Tree cutting boards. They're plastic, and I just chop them up. Like I'll chop them up to fit in certain books, and then I'll have little pieces left over, and then those are the pieces that I use for like a palette, because it has a rough side, so I'll scratch off some there and do it like this. I'll grab some. Oh, I didn't think I was going to use lemon yellow. I was supposed to use sunflower yellow, but oh well, it looks like I grabbed the lemon. So then you can just brush the color, especially if you have some cheaper watercolors, like watercolor pencils that don't dissolve well, especially when you put them on the paper. If you put them on the palette and put them on, then you can get them to dissolve and rub them on, and then you're not getting the issues as much with those. Because a lot of times cheaper watercolor pencils are nice, it's just that they don't dissolve very well. So, and this way it's like paint. It's all watercolor paint. Whether it's dry when it goes on or whether it's wet. And then you just have to decide how bright you want it. You know, you can do less, you can do more. Like this. I'm trying to decide that if I go back over it with pencil later, is that cheating for Watercolor Summer? Like, because it's not watercolor. I know Michelle would say no, but because it just, you know, it doesn't have to be the whole picture is watercolor. Oh, I got a little bit on the mouse. Trying to decide if that's a petal back there or not. I think it is. I don't, or it's a leaf. Petal or leaf? Boy, that's a tough one, because the leaves are real kind of hairy on this one, or they look a lot like mum leaves, so I wonder if it's a relative of the mum. I did not delve that deeply into it. I think I'm gonna paint that like that. I can go in there and make that dark when I paint the mouse. So we'll do it this way, and then I just have to wait for it to dry a little bit, or I don't have to, but I recommend it. Letting it dry just a little bit more before you go in with another color, so we can check the other side. It's not really warping much at all. Of course, I'm not using like paper, so yeah, it's not coming through at all on the other side, which is good. I mean, this paper's thick. This paper takes watercolor. All right, so to save time, so you don't have to watch me do flowers all day long, I based them with the lemon yellow, which is the wrong color that I wanted to use, but they're pretty similar because I was going to use a sunflower yellow. But you know what? I'm sure that this lemon yellow will work out just fine. It's just that I noticed that the lemon yellow is a little greener, I think, but I think in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. So to be a little different, I'm going to add my, because these are dry now. So I'm going to kind of add a little bit of my Tuscan sun, right? Make sure we get it where we think the shade is. Of course, these leaves down here will be much more shaded, and I shouldn't be afraid to lay down some color. I'm still on the fence as to whether that's a petal or a leaf. I think it's a petal because the leaves are very jagged. You know, I'm thinking too much about someone else's interpretation of a flower. So just put a little on here. And all the shadows, or what we think are the shadows. And we'll get a nice smooth transition. I'll probably try using different watercolor pencils. I was considering trying one of these with Neocolor Twos, but that might be a little bit too much. I don't know. I know there's people that use them for all the time. For all the time. Gosh, all the time. For a lot of things, and they are very useful. I do love my Neocolor Twos. I'm so glad that I do not regret buying them. I got lucky and got some gift cards, and then I kind of bought the rest of them. I bought a set of 15, which I got at Michael's with a coupon years ago when they used to have, it was before the pandemic, and they had the cool coupons. And then I just kind of added some from, I think I got a gift card. Oh, I got a gift card from someone, and I decided to use it for Blick. And I ended up ordering the rest of the Neocolor Twos that I didn't have. So that's how I got them. All right, so I'm going to try to activate my Tuscan sun. I should have left a little bit of white. My goal is to try to learn how to leave white space for highlighting. That is hard because every time I try, I know I've said this before, every time I try, I end up going, that needs some color. And I end up putting color on it. You know, like, oh, I'm just going to put like a whiff of color. You won't see it. And then, you know, have to have color. So, how is anybody doing stuff for Watercolor Summer? I mean, I need to go out and look at the hashtag. I've been so busy. Is there something you'd like to see? I don't know if I can accommodate you, but you know, if anybody has a request, please feel free to let me know, because I'm always looking for ideas of what to do for Watercolor Summer. I have ideas, but you know, just kind of, as you can see, like it blends differently. Like when they're both wet, it blends differently to when one is dry, even though the yellow should still move a little bit because it's not treated watercolor paper, like treated with a satin glazing liquid or something. The yellow won't move very much, and technically I don't have to activate this at all. I mean, I could just use these as pencils. I'm just choosing not to, because that's what I do. I'm like, if I want to use a watercolor pencil, I'm going to use a watercolor pencil for watercolor. If I want to not use a pencil for watercolor, then, you know, I will not put it on, or I'll just use like a regular pencil. I'm not going to use, I don't know why. I think it's because I'm afraid of activating it by accident, which I don't think you have to be. I'm trying to grab some of this color, some of the dark color, because I wanted to go in here with the dark, because it should be dark down there, not necessarily bright. I think I'm just afraid. And when I use ink tints, I have to be careful that I get it all activated, you know, and it may just be that I'm paranoid because of ink tints or whatever. All right, so now, oops, I missed getting some color in there. Look at that. All right, so there's that. Now, while those are drying, just because I want the experience of having to, you know, put my arm over top of something. Let's see, what did I say? I was going to use the absinthe green for for the center, and I'm going to kind of make it light because it should blend in. I mean, it looks green, but it's a very yellow green, so we're just going to put a little on here, and then we'll blend it in. Not quite. It dries pretty fast. Make sure my brush is cleaned off. See how yellow, or how green, how yellowy green the absinthe is. It's a great color. I use it a lot when I'm using my Arteza. I don't really mix pencils a lot, and I don't know why. It might just be because I don't want to think that hard. You know, it's like, oh, but oftentimes I'll just use a set based on if it has the colors that I want. I hate jumping from set to set to try to find the right set of colors, right? I know some people say, well, I don't want to use watercolor pencils because then I have to color and activate it. But you don't have to be as precise, you know, because you're kind of moving it around. So you don't have to get it as the coverage as much when you're using watercolor. It's hard to explain, I think. I'm going to try grabbing this one from the palette and doing it that way. These are a little crumbly, but it's not too bad. I just wanted to see like how it would work. I mean, you'd think I never use watercolors, and I do. Actually, mixed media is my fave. I enjoy using all different kinds of media on pictures rather than just a single one, because I find that it makes things more enjoyable. All right, so I think we have some flowers. Once we get everything else in there, it's gonna pop. So let me let that dry for a minute. Okay, so that's dry. Now let's go in with, I'm gonna do some leaves here. That's grass, so I may have to get like another color. Oops, is this the absent? No, this is the spring green that I'm putting down here. You know, and I can just kind of, it's hard to see where the stems and things are. Here's him. I think this is the stem of the flower. I'm going to go ahead and put a little color on that. I think that might be his foot. It's kind of hard to tell. Sometimes you can go in and give stuff a little bit of color. I think that's a flower leaf. It's probably another petal right there. That's a flower leaf that I just put orange on. Pretty sure. Of course I could, you know, just kind of color over it, see what happens. There's the stem. These are leaves. I have a darker color that I'm going to use, obviously, but I wanted to kind of get my flowers all spaced out here so I can see what's going on. It's difficult to see in this picture what's going on with the flowers. It's almost like, oh, I feel like I need to stare at it for a little bit and understand what's going on with these flowers. Because I think, I mean, I know from looking at them, they're very low to the ground. And I wonder now if this is the leaf, if this is part of the leaf here, and this is open, and then this is part of the leaf. Because I think that they're very low to the ground, and they almost look like cacti when they're in their formation. So that's what's making this difficult. Erase that right there. Because I want to look at the flowers. Maybe I should do them. Maybe I should do the mouse first. So I can see the flowers better. But I don't know if it's going to help me because he's obviously obscured by the flowers. So, where are my mouse colors? Let's see. I've got like a light kind of gray that we can stick on here. We're gonna kind of layer the colors if it works out. Put a little bit of that in there. Maybe this will help me. That's what I do. So I think I'm running into flower here. So I don't think there's a wrong way to do it. It just depends on how much you care, I guess. Let's do my darker gray, which, let's see, that was my mushroom. Oops. That was my mushroom gray that I used. So now I've got my elephant gray. And I'm gonna put some of that down. I think later I'll just add some of the camel in because it's kind of sprinkled in as like part of the outside of the mouse. I'm talking about the mouse like it's a cake. And I know that the front will be kind of lighter. So I'm just trying to make him dark, kind of where the artist made him dark. Around his ears right there. And it'll all spread out. And then if I wanted to, and I really liked it, I could choose not to even activate it if I wanted. Yeah. It's a nice thing about the choice of watercolor. So I'm going to kind of leave him like that. And these are such light colors that I want to make sure my brush is cleaned out. All right, so we'll pull down here, just kind of mush him around. I think it's going to look really good when it's done. And then maybe, if you want, I can finish the other side next time, or I can do a different picture. I can do a different medium. We could do the other side in a different medium, because I'm pretty sure it'll be pretty no matter what. Just kind of given that, that's what I like about the watercolors, is it allows you to soften in a way that pencils can't. It's quicker in a way. Trying to cover up, I gotta try to cover up that yellow that I got on the mouse's fur. And the watercolor pencils make a great base for putting down pencil later. Then we can always make it darker. It's hard to make it lighter, but you can always make it darker. I feel like I'm not talking very loud today. I apologize. All right, so there we've got our little mousy. Little pencil activated there. That was cool. That came out well. I still got to figure out my flowers. While he's drawing, let me research. Okay, after some research, I think I've decided what to do. Not ignore it. That's not the right answer. Because I think it's all leaves. So what we're gonna do is put on our reading glasses and make this dark. Because I can't tell what any of this is. But if you look at the plants, they are odd like this. They are very dark. They have a lot of leaves underneath them. So we're just, it's very strange. It's a very strange thing. They don't have like a stem that goes up. They kind of sit on I mean, I'm sure there's a stem underneath them, but you can't see it. So, because I can't see what's going on and I'm unsure, I'm going to do it like this, and we're going to hope for the best. I think, you know, it won't be too bad. All right, so I think that's a petal. I think that's a petal. This might be a leaf. I think those are petals. So let me just make those petals right now. And then we need to put some green down here, and I'll come up with another green for the grass. I'll probably use Colors for a little bit of stuff around the outside that I want to do, you know, just to kind of give it a halo. All right. We'll hope for the best. I can always fix it with some pencil, right? These leaves need to be darker. I mean, that I can tell you right now. This is supposed to be kind of quick because it was a small picture, but I get the feeling that with all my stops and starts, it's going to be not quick. But I'm pretty close to actually being done with it. With the exception of, like, you know, adding some pencil maybe to it, which I could do. I need to do something with these leaves. Like, I hate it when pictures are not defined. Some people love it. I hate it. It's like, I just want to know what it is. And I mean, I've run into, like, artist mistakes where either, I mean, we're assuming it's a mistake. I mean, I've seen actual mistakes, like where they leave a line in. I'm pretty sure we all have. It's like, I have to figure out what the heck it is, or what I want it to be, which I want it to be whatever the artist intended it to be. And when that doesn't happen, it causes my brain consternation and it stops. And this is why I have whips, because there's something unhappy or unidentified about the picture, and I'll just stop. And then I will constantly think about it. I will guarantee you I never forget about a whip. Almost never. I mean, I'm sure that there are some that I've probably forgotten about, but it's doubtful. Or when I see them, I'll be like, oh yeah, this is why I stopped doing this. Like my famous picture in Worlds Within Worlds that I have yet to complete. Well, I want to actually. I got some advice on it, and now I just lack the time to sit down, but it's been a year. It feels like it's been more than a year, but it's only been a year. Okay. They're odd little flowers. I am telling you, they are odd. I might actually put even darker. Like, I might go with pencil and put some really dark spaces in there. Let's see. Oh, yeah. I have to do the pinky for the ears. This is going to be really cute. And then there should be some pink down here for his nose. And then I might do a darker pink. Like, add some dark shading for his feet. Right? And then, You know, this will be the base for his tail. But I might add in something else. I realized that I should have done the outer edges of his ears, but I'll have to do that in a minute. I should have done the outer edges with some mushroom. But we can add that in. That's not a big deal to add in. And even though I activated that, it'll kind of blend together anyway, because even though it's not moving, it's still moving a little bit. Because the only way you can get it to really truly move after it's dry is if you have it on watercolor, like treated paper. Just remember, I am not a watercolor expert in any way, shape, or form. I am just a person who enjoys coloring with them and is still learning a great many things. Every time I sit down, I learn something. Those are so cute. He's such a cute mouse. I'll write down these colors on a piece of paper later for the one over there. All right, so I was going to, now I'm debating on whether I want to. I got out this dark kind of camel to add a little variation to his fur, because that's the way they are. Like some of them, they're not all. And now I'm debating whether I should have, but I'm gonna add it in anyway. Just a little here and there, you know, because of his fur. And then I'll put some darker elephant gray in with it to kind of mush it around. And hopefully I won't hate it when I'm done. I know I said I was going to use the mushroom, but I decided to use a little darker color there. But we'll put some mushroom on it now. I should have probably waited for it to dry a little bit more, but it'll be okay. So, you know, y'all have to tell me if you're coloring. I know a lot of people have this book, but not a lot of people all at the same time. It's not a very accessible, easily accessible book to people. Unless you're ordering on Amazon Japan, because I think that's where I got my copy, was Amazon Japan. Just gonna put like a little shadow under his chin. All right, the moment of truth, right? Just gonna wet it and mush it around a little. I don't want to carry the brown too far. I want to get all those blended in. There he is. So I'll have to find, I need to decide what I want my grass to be. And then my sky, because I want to put in some sky. And then we'll be done. So let me determine what I want that to be. Like I said, I might just pick out a couple of Neo colors and put them on there. So give me a second. Alright, so I have some grass green that I'm gonna throw on here. This is the grass green, which is 220, I think. And I'm just gonna throw it on there and kind of moosh it around. I'm using that word a lot today, aren't I? And then I might go in with a pencil and put in some other colors. The thing I like about the Neo colors is that they dissolve so well. Neo colors are amazing at dissolving. They're very pigmented. You can cover a lot of area with just a little bit. I mean, and at first, you know, you're afraid to use them. And I really like using them for like backgrounds and skies, because you could, I mean, you really can just put like several colors on and swirl them around, and they come out pretty much like you think they're going to. And it's so nice. I think I might add a little brown to this, maybe. You know, they're not going to spread as far because I don't have treated paper, but that's okay. Hopefully, I'm in frame still. And then put a little bit of blue. Kind of like, you know, I could go in and put some brown in here if I had like a brown out, but I don't think I have. Let's see. We'll just throw in some light cobalt blue, which is 661. Background is usually where I ruin my pictures. Because unless I can see a background on something, it's very difficult for me to envision. But I'm trying to get over my paralysis, so I'm going with it. You know, I'm just kind of using it. You don't have to be precise with it, because they can go out a long ways. I'm gonna carry it down here, and you're just, it's like using a crayon. Well, I mean, it is a crayon. If you've never used one before, I mean, I've used it in really nice coloring books, like oh well, we'll see what happens, and it, you know, they're hard to mess up. You know, it's just, they are really, it's really difficult to mess them up. I've got a little piece of lint in there somewhere. And they're really soft. They're beautiful colors. And they just add a little bit of something. And they're, you know, you can order them a single one at a time. I know people that have like 10 or 20. You don't have to get all 80. It took me a long time to get them, but once you get one, I mean, like, they last forever. I mean, unless you're like using them like every day, but and some people do. I mean, some people use them on everything, but they last forever. Might have to go in and, but I'm sure, you know, I'm not a Neocolor expert. I'm just a new Neocolor user. A Neocolor too. I've thought about getting the Neocolor ones. I think that they're just crayons. I've watched videos comparing them. It's hard to find videos of Neocolor ones, even though they've been around longer, but I think that they're just crayons. It's like even when you watch a video, it's difficult to ascertain exactly what they are. They're not pastel, they're not, I don't think they're oil, but they might be. I can't remember, it's been a while. So like I said, you know, tell me if there's something you want to see for Watercolor Summer. I need to get this video posted, but we'll see. I'll take a look and see where I'm at in time. I mean, domino. All right, so kind of like due to weather, due to domino, we're gonna stop because he's not listening to me, but he's managing for now. He's bathing, so we need to give Domino some attention. But I kind of want him to know that he can't do that to me. I love him. I love Domino to death. He's the cutest cat in the world and he knows it, and that's the problem. So anyway, this is where I'm stopping. I need to let the paper dry and I need to come in with some pencil and finish it. But I need to get this video posted because I'm behind. So maybe that'll give you a chance to see what happens in my finished pages. And if there's anything you want to see for Watercolor Summer, let me know. I would be happy to do something. I love this book. This is amazing. I like these pencils. Like I said, these are the Arteza watercolor pencils. They came out really good. I like how the picture came out. And we'll see what happens next. Thanks for joining. Thank you so much for watching and putting up with me. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.